Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man voting for Pedro for the 20th straight election, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's got to happen. It's got to happen one year. You know what I mean? Like,
He's due.
Keep doing it. He's due. He's way overdue.
Need more dancing. Get out here, Napoleon. What are you doing? Good to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you too, brother. I'm locked and ready to roll, baby. I'm in a good mood. Had a good Halloween. Jets win. Duke's thumping fucking Maine right now. So
yeah, Celtics killing the Hawks. Like, we got all of it, buddy. You know, I know we had some big Rangers wins recently. All our guys are doing pretty well now that we're past baseball. Right. Yeah. This exact moment.
Right now. I got to live in the moment with New York teams.
We do. Yeah. Especially with your quarterback is almost older than I am. So it's like, come on. Let's start playing for real. So let me in, because you are the mayor of Halloween and a big fan of horror, and you have a lot of family entanglements with all that. How'd you spend your Halloween? Mine was low-key. It was literally just watching the Jets. Like, I wore, like, my Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt to feel alive. But outside of that, it was pretty low-key.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of, like, probably flamed out on Halloween night. I took my son out, who had the best, like, costume. I should show you a picture. It was basically an inflatable Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
Nice.
So he had his friend go with them, and he was SpongeBob.
Nice.
So he literally got stopped by 4 random strangers driving cars asking for a picture so they could put it on Instagram.
Awesome.
Like, he was like a rock star on that thing. So yeah, so we had a good time trick or treating, and then like you, I came home and watched the Jets game because I thought that was going to be a House of Horrors, and that would be a great horror film to end the season with.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, like typical Jets, they won a game I didn't think they're going to win.
Yeah, they dressed in the black uniforms, as you said. We thought we were going to a funeral, and then they ended up coming out victorious, having one of the better games they've had in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did not cap my Halloween evening with an actual film, so I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I think next year I'm going to set a schedule, like a daily schedule, like what I'm going to watch, and like watch it.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, I only wish we had a podcast, because then we can schedule, you know, some kind of like, you know, watching some retro horror stuff, maybe stuff we haven't caught or something like that. Put in like one on the schedule. Or a couple. I have like maybe, you know, one episode maybe dedicated to some, you know, just filling in some blanks when it comes to the horror season, whether it's new stuff, old stuff, or whatever.
Exactly. So I'm ready for next Halloween, buddy.
Yeah, well, you're off to a good start, because you tell me about Hysteria, because you sent me this, that you started watching the Peacock show Hysteria, which I didn't know existed until you sent it over, because I thought that only Teacup was their only kind of like sci-fi horror-ish, you know, something in the genre of the season, including they had their finale on Halloween. So I don't know if Hysteria, I think they dumped the whole season, didn't they?
They did. And I didn't know about the show either. I kind of heard about it and forgot about it. And I was going to actually start watching Teacup. And then it was like Hysteria popped up. And I'm like, huh. And I decided to go with that because I like Julie Bowen. I like Bruce Campbell. They're both in this cool. show. It's set like in 1989. And it's about like this band who like is a death metal, like an Iron Maiden, Judas Priest kind of band.
Right.
But they're like outcasts and losers at school. And they're trying to get people to come to their show. And at the beginning of the episode, like this high school quarterback gets kidnapped by like a cult, and they leave the satanic symbol on there. So the whole town goes crazy. It's like, oh, Satan worshiper. So the lead singer tries to like use it as fuel to get people to come to their show. So they're like, oh, we worship the devil.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now, like, it was great. It was fun. The first episode, I love the first episode. Bruce Campbell plays the sheriff, and it's just like you get these supernatural elements. There is a cult, and the soundtrack is like is banging. It is like every heavy metal band you loved in the 80s pops up, like, you know, Skid Row, Metallica, like
nice.
Like it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love the first 2 episodes, dude. So Hysteria, 8 episodes. It is like an hour per episode. I'm in. I'm in.
Is it meant to be like funny, or is it like trying to be straight up? Like, what is it?
It's like a comedy horror or comedy supernatural. It has funny elements like dark humor, and it's a comedy, but not a straight comedy.
Yeah, especially the
So
runtime leans away from that. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, it kind of walks the line between. It's not a serious horror supernatural. It kind of walks that line of a comedy horror kind of element to it, which I like. It's light on its feet, and yeah, I love it. So I recommend it. Based on the first episode, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be good.
Yeah, and on the flip side, again, like I guess this is a Peacock podcast where I just finished up Teacup, and it was really good. Like, it was quite good. It was better than what I expected. I didn't even expect to watch it, and I got like a recommendation.
And you binged it.
I binged it. Yeah, because we
animal.
the girlfriend and I on Sunday night watched episodes 1 through 4 or something before she left, and then like the 5th episode I believe is their longest episode, which is an hour or close to an hour. Otherwise most of the episodes are like 35 minutes or something.
Okay,
so it's very bingeable. So I was able to finish it up by midday today. Spent a little lunch break time, whatever, like just wrapping it up, and it's good. A lot of like people you would like, strong, TV pro cast, that you would check out. And it's essentially from looking at the mask and the iconography they used in like a lot of the trailers or, commercial, whatever for it. It looked more, I thought it was going to be more horror, more like, almost like The Strangers or some kind of like thing like that. No, it is not. It is way more about, it's way more sci-fi bent and almost like alien horror in a way, like to where it's tough to explain without like, spoiling it, of course, but like basically there's almost like a trap, like a force field set around this rural kind of farm area in Georgia, and you see like if people cross through, it like freezes you, rips off your skin, and like your bones come ripping out of your body and everything. It's kind of gnarly for TV, even streaming. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see that. And they have to figure out like who's doing this, who's in control of this, who knows really what's going on. And it's I don't know if it fully. It's one of those shows where I'm like, could they have done this in 6? Because it does spin its wheels a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, very well done. Good time. Okay. And I would recommend it. It's only 8 episodes. And like I said,
it was on my radar. I love the trailer. I wrote it down. And, I like Scott Speedman. I haven't seen him in forever. Like forever.
Because you're a big Felicity guy?
Well, nah, I'm talking more Underworld.
Yeah.
I was more of an Underworld guy.
That makes sense. Yeah, that
tracks. So yeah, anyway, it is on my list. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you binged it. I was shocked when you said you binged it because that's something I would do.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, you garnered your inner Shane and fucking just plowed right through it.
It's one of those shows you just have to know what's going on. Because it's one of those, not a puzzle box, but it's close. It's in that vein of like, a little bit of like Lost-ish or like whatever, where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Let's figure this out. And they just condense it down in a succinct, season that's probably a whopping, 5 hours total or something. And just bam, done.
Perfect.
Yeah. And it was good. Just like I get that last jollies of the end of October, something a little bent, a little genre heavy, just something to kick on. I was into it. I was very happy. But of course, now we're turning the page, Shane. We are moving on to November. As we've noted before, like it's a very odd schedule, but jam-packed, it seems. Like this week, we're probably going to have Heretic be like probably the one that wins the box office. I don't even know if that's going to make money. Like horror just prints money, they say or whatever, but we've had some instances this year where maybe that wasn't the case. And the box office has been weird, like pretty weird in the last few weeks where it's like the movie that I want to see is not the movie that's going to make money. So it's like, it's like The Wild Robot's still like number 2 out in these streets, just plug it along. Yeah, your boy Venom's obviously still plugging along here. Made another 26 mil over the weekend. So that's up to 317 total. So, and almost to 100 million, domestic. So it's not doing as well as the other ones, but like it's still going to make a hearty amount of money for like the fact that, I believe, they keep saying how low the budget is, and we remarked, duh, because it looked like shit. That yes, of course it was. So, but good on them. People are still coming out to see it. So, and it's in this weird spot, I think, where stuff like Heretic and whatever, like smaller things, but that might do well, are around.
Right.
All because they're just setting up for Gladiator 2 and Wicked.
Right. So there's no real threat to Venom. You know what I mean? It's like a real banger coming out. So
yeah, exactly. Just like the movie itself.
Right.
But what we're going to do now is, as we've noted, we're in the throes, baby. You're not out in these sectors too much for award season. But we've touched on it a little bit. We've covered stuff like Honora and Amelia Perez from when I went to Woodstock for the Woodstock Film Festival. And there's obviously been a bunch of contenders, so to speak, that have already come out. Things that I wish were heavier contenders in Dune Part 2 and Challengers, and hell, I mean, I would throw even the fucking Wild Robot in the top 10 for Best Picture right now, but that's a crazy thought. Animation, oh, you weirdo, you fucking asshole. But there are still some movies that are getting recognized. The Gotham Awards did their nominations, so there's some hint of like, oh, maybe some stuff, at least on the indie side, that might have a chance to have a little bit of legs going into award season. And then, of course, there's ones that, are looking like they already have the reputation that they might indeed have what it takes to be in the Best Picture conversation, or whether it's nomination or a win or any of those type of things. And some of those movies came out this weekend, or at least have come out in the last couple of weeks, and we're playing catch up. And some of them are hitting your streaming services, including Peacock. Shout out to the cock is just all over it tonight. So there's a bunch of stuff there too. But let's start with the one we both watched, Shane. This is We Live in Time, directed by John Crowley, who a little bit of up and down in terms of his film directing career. Like Brooklyn, he got all kinds of accolades for that film. Put someone like Saoirse Ronan on the map. And then there was The Goldfinch, which was a huge bomb and critical down note as far as his career. But this one, we both were really anticipating it. Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh, and what's maybe not our strongest suit, Shane, with that, like it was one of those movies that you were like, I'm really looking forward to this, and I was like a romantic drama, like you, like what are we doing? Is that true? Are you fucking with me? Like, I think that's literally the words that I used, because this is just, obviously it's a non-linear setup here for the most part, but it's pretty much just a beautiful story about a life, between these two people. It's about an up-and-coming chef and a recent divorcee who find their lives forever changed when a chance encounter brings them together in a decade-spanning, deeply moving romance. And I gotta tell you, Shane, part of the reason why I'm leading off is, yes, we both watched this movie over this past week. The other reason is, this is my favorite of all the things I watched, and I watched a bunch of kind of awardsy stuff recently, and this is one of my favorite movies of the year, and I'm very curious to know if it lived up to your hype, because you were the one who was more selling it to me versus the other way around.
Yeah, it was number 7 on my most anticipated list, surprisingly. And did it live up to my billing? Yes and no. And I know that's kind of cheating. I overall enjoyed this film. I had a good time. Yeah. I liked it. I really did. I liked a lot about this film.
Yeah.
And I thought for me, the nonlinear structure here worked for me.
Yeah.
it kind of took some people out. It took my girlfriend out for a while because she had to catch up to like what they were doing.
Yeah, I can't say I wasn't lost, at least at times, to be like, okay, does she have bangs? I'm like trying to look, like what decade are we in? Where are we? Yeah.
Right. But overall, I like the structure and how they told their story. I love the performances. I thought they both were just really strong, and they were strong together. And I thought my favorite scene was, of course, the giving birth scene in the petrol station. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But I thought where this kind of lacked is I wanted more emotional scenes, like between the two. Take like the conversation he had when he wanted kids and she didn't. Like, I wanted a little bit more of that, like when they were like really ratcheting up the emotions between each other. I think that only happened like twice, is when that scene and like when she did the cooking competition stuff and she forgot to pick up her kid. I wanted just a little bit more than that. And I thought we got at least more depth with her character than his. And I thought they like slighted Andrew Garfield's character in this movie compared to Florence Pugh, because she's this chef, award-winning chef, super mom, and then like all of a sudden she's an Olympic skater. She has like, and she was bi-curious at one time. Like we know all this. All we know about Andrew Garfield is he's like a divorcee and he takes sad baths and has his dad cut his hair. So I'm like,
and works for Weetabix. Don't forget.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any friends except for his dad, apparently. So I had a tough time saying what would attract these two people together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't seem like the pair, but that's a small nitpicky thing for me. I just found out they kind of shortchanged his character and gave her more of the background and just the I don't know, just the stuff to carry the movie. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, and I like the door shot, like when they were both the first date or whatever. I like that shot, but I really love how they wrapped up the movie. I'm glad they didn't go for like the emotional tear dump in this movie. Yeah. I thought like they were going to really ratchet up and we're going to see like Florence Pugh in her worst, and they didn't. Yeah. And I loved that last scene with the skating scene. I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I love the way they set that up, and it made perfect sense. I had a good time with this movie. I really enjoyed it. It is in my top 10 of the year, not top 5. More I think about it, maybe, but it is like you, is the best thing I saw this weekend. So there's that going for it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the awards-centric stuff, and again, this one doesn't have a perfect rep for, it's not like, it won like some film festival or had some kind of, of course this is going to be up for Best Picture kind of reputation. It doesn't. And I honestly don't know why in such a weak year, why we're just pointing at all these other movies to be like, oh, well, this is gonna save the cinema year or whatever. And it's like, which one? Because this one is better than I'll get to another movie that I was like, I liked, but I like this one better. But yeah, for me, this is currently number 7, and you can probably interchange some of those. So, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought, there's so much humanity and life compressed into a movie that's not even 2 hours long, which should also show a lot of people like the beauty of how well this is edited. And like the chemistry will allow you to overlook a lot of things that maybe I can't say I didn't see the things that you just said. If you were saying of any kind of like holes or shortcomings or whatever you want to call them, but I just didn't care a lot because I was just so into these two on camera together. Like it just, there's so much going on, and like you mentioned, it deals with cancer, death, what we mean to people, like legacy stuff. Like there's all kinds of things that we get wrapped up in, that stuff like a cancer diagnosis or whatever, like, or even just a marriage or any of these things will show you. And that's why I didn't really care that they didn't like have some like knockdown drag out, or they didn't have like a whole bunch of like emotional outbursts or any of these things. Cause I think the way they pitched this relationship, I think it just made sense, because he's kind of the guy who he's already been divorced once. He's probably very scared of losing someone who means something to him again. And he kind of is the guy to I'll just walk away and fight another day kind of a guy, instead of, her, she's a lot more intense. She's very competitive. She has a different streak to her than he does. He's more of like the relaxed, like planner, like, trying to assess situations. Like I wink at that and I get it. Like, I know that guy. I have a little bit of both of them. And that's why I think maybe I appreciate this story. But yeah, man, the score is fucking incredible. I don't know if you picked, like, I thought it was a character in itself, because almost like how Christopher Nolan uses scores, where it's like this driving force to keep, a bunch of like spinning plates going all at once, because this moves from, decade to decade, different points in their relationship, all these things. I think part of the thing that keeps it on the track is this score. And I was so impressed by that. So that really, really helped. And like you said, I think there's a bunch of moments at the end, but they don't exactly go for the throat. But there are things that you just really admire. This movie isn't a movie that, pitches you towards a certain moment. It's kind of like a bunch of moments and a bunch of appreciation. And I think maybe that's why, somebody's not going to be like, oh, this is, a romantic drama like this. This is not The Notebook. This is not something like that.
Right. No.
But it's it's headier than that, and it's so better scripted and edited. And I just thought I admired this a lot.
Yeah, and I think you I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was going to give you kudos because I think you summed it up for me. It's like whatever little shortcomings I had was overtaken by how much I liked the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was able to forgive my personal little hangups I had with the movie, which wasn't a lot. But at the end of the day, I walked out saying that was a really good movie. I had a good time.
Yeah. And it's one of those movies now, like, it's just going to be real obnoxious, so buckle it up. Because I don't have like a long review for this other movie, so I'm going to kind of just meld some things real quick. So on Friday night, I was supposed to see one movie, but the movie apparently didn't arrive or wasn't scheduled, and there was a big confusion. So because we were already there, I ended up seeing Here, the Robert Zemeckis movie starring Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. And it's a movie that is also, while it's also about a bunch of stuff, and you can see by the trailer that it's one perspective of a place, and that spans through time. And it does this thing where the way it's edited is what's going to make it a little more dynamic, because again, we're just staring at one corner of the world for a long time. But this movie is We Live in Time is the one that like just felt like, yeah, because they stuck with one amazingly beautiful couple who are just incredible actors. And like you said, it's almost a little too much that she's like a fucking amazing figure skater who quits that and then becomes a world-renowned chef. It's like it feels like someone's diary, instead of like a script a little bit when you say it out loud. But that's how good this movie is. It makes you believe that it's like, oh yeah, she's just a person who's like good at everything.
Yeah,
and you just kind of skip it. Here is a movie that for every time that they want to get intimate or want to get into something, they immediately cut to something else that either just is off-putting or doesn't work or just makes you sad. Like, not sad and like, oh, I feel bad for them. It's, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, I don't want to watch somebody's life fall apart a little bit. Like, what are we doing here? Like, so, but this is all you need to know about Here. And this is why sometimes, like, for if you want to be a real critic and stuff and you're like, oh, you're going to all these like screenings and doing whatever, sometimes you just need to see a movie with the general public and get gems like this. There's a moment in the movie Here when Tom Hanks and Robin Wright are sitting down. They're older at this point and they're estranged, whether they officially get divorced or not or whatever. I don't even remember. They're having Thanksgiving dinner together. And they're having Chinese food, and they open up fortune cookies, and his fortune cookie says something like, a lost love will like come back into your life or something like that. And he literally asked like Robin Wright, like, so is this fortune cookie right? Is this you coming back to me? And she goes, no. And like the whole theater erupted in laughter. And was just like had no problem laughing at Tom Hanks's pain of just being like this guy just trying to get his wife back. And people were laughing in the theater like in a wave. Like it was a laugh moment, which just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen.
No.
So if you want to know how things can go so wrong, if you're trying to do a movie like spanning a life of a couple, or and really try to get invested, man, maybe don't show the Native Americans or dinosaurs, or like the guy who invented the Lazy Boy recliner in between your romantic entanglements. Oh
God.
Yeah, it's a lot of movie, and honestly, it has so many characters, and God. Like, there's only like one couple that my girlfriend and I were just like, can we just keep watching them? They seem pretty fun. Like, why are we doing this other shit? So, yeah. In short, We Live in Time to me is a 4-star movie. And like I said, one of, top 10, top 7 movie of the year for me. Here, it's probably like a 2.5, where it's like, it benefits from the fact that it has so many like good actors in it, but the shtick doesn't work all the time, and there's literally like cringy moments throughout, and there's even stuff with like Ben Franklin and other stuff. You're like, come on,
oh, God.
Like this is so contrived. So, and I ride for Robert Zemeckis. I mean, the guy made fucking Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, Castaway, Forrest Gump. Like the guy's got me. I'll try, but yeah, I wouldn't return to it. So.
All right. Well, to go back to We Live in Time, I also gave that a 4.
Yeah.
Like a strong 4. It's a strong 4 for me.
Yeah. Same here, man. And this is why I don't understand why it's not like we cover a lot of movies here. We watch a lot of things, and there are only so many movies left in the rest of the year that I haven't seen that I would say are potential Best Picture contenders. And for this movie to be, let's be real. Furiosa is not going to be on that, Best Picture list, right? So if you take that out, and even if you probably take out Wild Robot or something, that puts it in a top 5 movie as far as like awardsy type stuff. And that's, I ride hard for challengers, but I haven't heard a ton of that recently, although it did get some recognition at the Gothams in terms of their nominations. So I don't know, man. Like it's far better than I expected. I didn't this movie was like on the fringe of my radar, and then it kind of came out quietly. I saw that it had pretty good reviews. Yeah, this is a strong movie, and it's impressive, and it makes me want to go maybe revisit some John Crowley stuff from the past too. I don't know about giving The Goldfinch another try, but we'll try. So, but one of those movies that is constantly in the conversation for the potential of Best Picture is Conclave, which is a movie that is now in its 2nd week. I was unable to see it the last time we were on the mics, and this was one of my top 10 most anticipated films. This is by Edward Berger, who did All Quiet on the Western Front for Netflix. That was up for Best Picture when that movie was released a couple of years ago. And this is his follow-up film with an impressive character actor du jour, essentially, with Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, and the list goes on and on. And this is supposed to be, kind of in the vein of a like a conspiracy thriller, or like almost feels like a political thriller, but we're dealing with the election of a new pope. And this is about Cardinal Lawrence, who's played by Ralph Fiennes, who is tasked with leading one of the world's most secretive and ancient events, selecting a new pope. He finds himself at the center of a conspiracy that could shake the very foundation of the Catholic Church. This movie is good. It's very solid. And again, another movie that, like, holy shit, the score is so good that it becomes almost its own character. It's amazing. And it does well to keep the plate spinning as far as the intrigue and the thriller aspect of the film in here. I just don't think it ever rose to like a fever pitch for me. It didn't seem like, even the stuff that like that gets uncovered, the aha moments, I'm leaving out the last probably, I don't know, 15 minutes of this movie that has a last twist that I think is kind of I don't want to call it unnecessary, but it's just, you either ride with this movie all the way through or you don't. And this movie, I was with it and I was cool with it, but I don't know. I was a little perplexed of how far they went by the movie's end. And it's tough because I think this movie is actually, box office wise, I think people are starting to pay attention, because the first week it made okay money. And then the second week, they only lost like 20% of its audience, so which usually loses like half. So I think this movie might have a little bit of momentum. It's totally geared towards, it's rated PG, for God's sake. So it doesn't really go hard at anything. This is not the Da Vinci Code, even, as far as like, seeing some underground secret, macabre thing going on, with people whipping themselves or anything. This is not that movie. This movie feels like they probably put it out at this time of year. They probably really wanted to put it out before the election, because it feels like, because it is an election of sorts, that you're seeing like it's almost feels more political than it does religious. There are commentaries about religion, but it's almost about like humanity and society, and they almost talk like in terms of Republican, Democrat, like a little bit, in terms of like value sets and things like that, old school way of thinking versus looking forward, et cetera, et cetera. So it has a lot of things that will seem like prescient, that we're gonna look at this movie and go, oh man, it was talking about so many things that are happening right this second, and we're all about to vote. So I think it's gonna resonate with some people, and it did a little bit with me. There are a lot of good conversations and very good performances, so I don't want to shortchange this movie. I just think for a movie that I thought was going to be the potential Best Picture winner when like all things were getting lined up, I think this movie will have a chance at some things. I don't know, man. I think it's not as strong as maybe some people would make it out to be, where I think it's more like a 3.5 that'll just go, on the pile. It'll land in a category like, Civil War or The Apprentice is a nice 3.5 movie, but I don't think it should be up for Best Picture. Or if it is, it's not going to be a strong candidate. So, or at least, who knows? It might just be a very weak year. But I still am sitting here going, WB, you done fucked up with Dune. You need to get Dune back in this race, goddammit. And, Challengers, I know is going to be tough. Like, A24 seems to be having a really good year. And
they're very solid this year.
So they have, most of the movies that, we've probably championed here, a lot of them are all A24. So, I don't know, man. But I Conclave is definitely one to watch. I think it's very enjoyable. If you could see it in the theaters, cool, but I'm sure they will be quick to yank and put on PVOD, because them's are the times that we have here. Yeah. But I think they almost need this movie to be a box office success to maybe go further than they think they might have with awards time. So, but okay. I'll tell you, like the score, it might win score. It is that impressive. So, and everybody seems to be on board. That's one of the first things that they say when they see this movie. So definitely something to check out there. And I am so on board with Ray Fiennes too, man. Like, I would love to see him get an award. I can't see it. He's like at the center of all this stuff, but I just can't see him winning in this type of year. I just can't for this type of role.
Okay.
So, but you saw another couple set of movies that I believe. So Didi is on Peacock, right? And you're going to do that and Janet Planet, two movies that they do have nominations at the Gothams that just came out, including obviously the young lad who is at the center of Didi. He's up for breakthrough performance. And man, this is one of the better reviewed movies of the year where, again, it's like, okay, I know it might be a little small, but Jesus Christ, like, so is every other movie that's coming out. Like, why is this one not being garnered for Best Picture? What did you think about it? Because it has like a definitely above a 4 rating on Letterboxd. Like, I don't get it.
I'm not gonna lie. I fucking love this movie.
Man.
I loved this movie. I loved everything about this movie. I had one small nitpick about this movie, and I'll get into it. But no, I love Isaac Wang, I guess the breakout performer you're talking about. He was great, man. I rode with him. I rode with his family. I told people at work, if you're a fan of like, what was it, mid
90s,
8th grade or mid 90s, then this is your jam. And I enjoyed this more than those movies, man. Like, set like in the mid 2000s, right? So like MySpace and all that kind of stuff. I just loved, and I felt like the plight of this kid trying to make friends and trying to go like grasp who his true friends were and trying to find his footing in like before he goes to high school and things he would do to try to impress people, and just like the awkward cringe moments, like when he got with the skater group and they found out he didn't really film shit well. I like, my heart broke. Like, it just broke, man. Like, but it was funny. I thought the mom and him were great. Like, when she farted in the car, I was dying. Like, the whole thing is just great. The grandma, it kind of like dives into that culture where like she blasted the mom, for, just how she raises her kids and how she's like taking care of the family and all this kind of stuff. It was great, man. Like, and I don't understand why this movie didn't get more of a push. My only thing is I wish I would have seen more like stuff with the sister, right? I thought her character, she had like the infighting between them. You saw like they were at each other's throats, and it's like on the snap of a finger, like she turned her character around to where she was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't treat him this way. Like, I didn't get to see that like real closure moment between the sister and brother. But outside of that, man, I gush about this film. It was great. Like, it is, and it makes you feel like what it's like to be in that time and that age, and like just and especially being a Taiwanese, being a foreigner on top of it, like, It was wonderful, man, trying to find this kid, find his place before he goes to high school. And just like, I related to sometimes like what my kids are going through, because he was on the precipice. Wow, Phil. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Andrew. Of like what our kids are into now. Like, it's not MySpace, it's like Instagram, and it's like this and that. And like, it just was wonderful. I loved this film. I loved everything about this film.
Yeah, it won the audience award at Sundance. It continued on to South by Southwest, where it was up for the same there. Like, this has just been a story that I don't understand why movies like this can't have, a larger footprint or have their arms completely wrapped around. Is this A24? Oh no, it's Focus Features, which is why it's why it's on Peacock. But it's just like it's tough sometimes when a movie's this small or it doesn't have like a big star or something like that, where you want to push it as far as it can, but it just doesn't. This one, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have the juice. But where would you, like, we were just talking about top whatever, like, it seems like you like this probably better even than We Live in Time, and you were saying that's a top 10. Is this a top 5? Is this one of the better movies of the year?
This is, I gave it a 4.5, and a solid 4.5.
Yeah.
And it's right there in my top 5 for the year. Like, and I just want to make this one point. I think when I was watching this movie too, is like, I hate to say it, I saw a little bit of my son in his character, like the stuff he would do. Yeah. I'm like, is that what I'm in for? So maybe I related to on that level. Like, I have a kid almost his age. Sure. And I was like, he has that kind of propensity to maybe blow up a mailbox or something and film it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, put it on YouTube. Like the stuff him and his friends did.
I'm not saying my son is too sweet to probably do that, but would probably be with a group of kids who would absolutely do that. And I'm not saying I'm leaning him any one way or another, but I did spend the evening like my teenage self the other day, where I was literally watching nonstop Jackass while drinking Mountain Dew. So I'm not saying if my genes have anything to do with it, he's probably in trouble at some point.
Yeah, right. But no, this is right there. This is probably my 4th or 5th favorite film of the year.
Yeah, that's wild. Especially for, like I said, a small kind of indie dramedy, it seems, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, here we are, man. This is what the end of the year brings. I know you weren't as impressed, it seems, with Janet Planet, but I do want to hear about it because, again, it was up for certain nominations at the Gothams, and it seems to be getting a better critical score than people. So I'm interested to see where you fell with this one.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get any accolades or what award this possibly could be up for. I really don't.
Screenplay.
It is what? Why? Like okay, let me gather my thoughts here.
Well, here, can I kick you off a little bit, because this movie drives me crazy because there's so many of these, especially when they come out to like festival circuits and stuff. It's almost like you play like, pretentious, weird movie bingo. So this movie, the description does not sound like a movie. And I always marvel at movies like this. And, sometimes it's hard to capture the essence of your movie. But if I said to you, in rural western Massachusetts, 11-year-old Lacey spends the summer of 1991 at home, enthralled by her own imagination and the attention of her mother, Janet. As the months pass, 3 visitors enter their orbit, all captivated by Janet and her spellbinding nature. In her solitary moments, Lacey inhabits an inner world so extraordinarily detailed that it begins to seep into the outside world. What the fuck does that mean?
Most of that didn't happen in this movie. I don't know what. I don't know what imagination they were talking about.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what seeped into the real world. I honestly, Andrew, and I don't mean to bash the movie, but like, it was the most boring movie I think I've seen all year.
See, I've heard some of those reviews, and that's why, like, I'm not kidding, dude. I swear, I think. Let me look, because last I looked, I want to say this has like an incredibly high Metascore. Yeah, dude, a fucking 83 Metascore.
I don't know what these people were smoking. Maybe they're smoking what the people in this movie were smoking. Like, I don't get it. And the cast is fine. I like Julianne Nicholson. That's why I was kind of drawn to this movie. And I did see the trailer for it. I was like, the way they edited the trailer, I'm like, you know what? I could go for something like that. Jesus Christ. I kept thinking, if I saw this in the movie, it might have been the first movie in my movie-going history I would have walked out on. I would have left. Because literally, one, you can't tell us in the 90s. The way they cut this movie up, it's like, yeah, you get like Will Patton is in this movie. He's the first character you meet. It's like, what's his character's name? Wayne. It's like Wayne, and he goes through his segment, and it's like Wayne ends. And they move on to the next character. There's hardly any dialogue. We don't get anything of what like Janet's thing is. She's like an acupuncturist who got money from her dead dad, and she has all these hippies. That the kid is a sad person with no friends, and like there's long stretches of silence in this movie. There's like a 20-minute shot of them going to this hippie festival with no dialogue. It's just people dancing around in costumes.
Oh, no.
There's like a 2-minute scene of someone heating up a burrito in the microwave, and like the shot is on their microwave, and literally you sit there for 2 minutes watching them cook a fucking burrito, and there's nothing going on. Between the girl, I thought maybe we'll get like some growth, some like transformation as you spend the summer with her mom. No, nothing. Her mom, I'm glad she's not my mom. She's like unaffectionate. She's like emotionalist to her daughter. Right. She takes piano lessons. That's her big thing. She goes and takes piano lessons. She hangs out with these people. Again, not a lot of dialogue. It's so painfully boring and slow. I really do not get this movie, man. It's on Max right now. That's the only reason why I watched it, besides being having Julianne Nicholson in here. Dude, I don't get it. I think the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is like 45% or 48%.
Yeah.
And that is right on cue. So I'm curious if this thing wins anything. Like I was getting like Napoleon Dynamite vibes just because the weird kid. I was like, oh, this could be kind of darkly funny, maybe. No, there's no funny parts in this movie. It's like Wayne gets migraines. End Wayne. There's no like reason why she leaves Wayne. There's no reason why she jumps into other relationships. They mentioned one time that someone mentions, well, people are just drawn to your mom. Why? Why? What does she do? She does nothing.
Wow.
There's, dude, you just, I almost like want you to watch this so you can confirm what I'm saying and not like me go off on against this artsy film. I can surprise you with some of the stuff I watch. And I can admit when like, oh, you know what? That had this going for it. This has nothing going for it at all. Like zero zip zilch. I will watch Lisa Frankenstein or Bottoms or whatever we watch before I watch this again.
Madam Web?
Yes. Madam Web, yes. Back to back, I'd watch Madam Web. If given the choice watching 4 hours of Madam Web or watching Janet Planet, I'm watching 4 hours of Madam Web.
Yeah, because at least you have Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney to look at for a while.
Yeah, dude, I'm serious. I don't mean to bash the movie, but this, when you said it was up for this, I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Your description, now again, I assume you to be accurate, you know, because I haven't seen it, but geez, those type of movies drive me crazy. The movies that it's just like, oh, it's experiential or it's ethereal or it's a mood or it's a vibe. Shut the fuck up and tell me a story. And the way you're saying it, it feels the complete opposite. And those don't work on me very well. But I can always kind of like you said, find something in it. The performance here, the this here, whatever. The way you're describing it, I just can't see it. It really, and you're not the first person in my life who's like, I don't get this movie either. So, yeah, it might just be this is the one that gets avoided for the year for me.
Yeah, I was expecting like this mother-daughter moment, like they realize, oh, she's grown, like something between the two. And no, like she moves on. The movie ends there at this fucking hippie two-step line dance thing. She's sitting in a chair and she's looking on the dance floor, and all of a sudden the movie ends. I'm like, what the hell? Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, if I was this kid, I would have ran away. Having to sit through polka concerts and going to hippie festivals, like all day, morning through night. She's sitting there watching these people, weird ass people, and like, I would run away if I was this kid. I would have ran away.
And it also doesn't. I don't know. It's been a minute since you've been up in the Northeast for long stretches. Have you been to Northampton or any of that Western Massachusetts vibe of like sort of level of like indie hipster hippie section out there?
No, it's been a while. Yeah.
So I wonder if that would also, because I've had mixed results in that area of the world. So I kind of interesting. To see what they pick up from the background of that, if it plays or not, because like you were saying, you couldn't even tell that they were aiming to be in the 90s, let alone did Western Mass pop on you.
No.
So, I'm curious to see if they tried. But when you say things like, oh, they're at this hippie thing or they're at this part, I'm like, well, at least they picked the right part of Massachusetts.
I mean, if they didn't tell me it was in Massachusetts, I would have guessed Vermont. I would say, okay, this is someplace in Vermont.
Which it does have a little bit of like, I don't know. It has that Ben and Jerry's level of Vermont, crunch to it in Western Mass at those spots. So, yeah, it can be anyway.
So if you're curious, this movie's a 1.
Ooh, that's a gut punch. Which, of course, it would have to be because we've talked about all those other movies that I believe we also gave 1s, and you're like, I'd rather watch that. So,
yeah, man.
That's a rough one.
And I feel bad dumping on a movie. I do, but there's no context, like nothing to gain or garner from watching this movie. It just was a waste of an hour and 42 minutes and 36 seconds.
Listen, man, I just applaud the fact that you made it through, and that's great to hear. But also the fact that you were such a pro to use my intro with the vote for Pedro and then also mention Napoleon Dynamite at the end to supremely bookend this particular episode. So, You surprised me at all turns. The fact that you watched
Yes.
Janet Planet, the fact that you bookended the episode so well, just a marvel you are, sir.
I appreciate it, buddy. I try.
So what's the plan for this week? Now that we got we're back into, at least we were talking about positive movies again after last week where we were kind of like, I think 3 out of 5 was like the tops of last episode maybe or something. So we got a bunch of stuff that we can definitely solidly recommend here, which is good.
Yes.
So this week, Heretic is on the board.
Oh, that is on the board. That is Friday night.
It's getting pretty good reviews.
Dude, I saw a new trailer for it the other day, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I cannot wait to see Hugh Grant, like, in a Hugh Grant role we really haven't seen him in before.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go. Like, yeah, right? It's like 96% of Rotten Tomato critic score right now, 96 or
I haven't looked
like
at the
that.
Rotten
It's
Tomato,
up there.
but yeah, I've seen definitely positive from all the way around, especially with top critics and stuff. So it's a good one.
So
yeah.
that's a good one. And then I'm going to wrap up Hysteria. I'll finish that this week. So I'm excited, man. Like you said, we're back into it. Good movies, solid stuff. No more 2.5s.
Yeah, I might need
across the
I
board.
might need I think I'm trying to decide where I'm going TV wise next, because if I have the ability to obviously watch Teacup all the way through, I'm sure I can get into something else. The one that keeps getting thrown at me is Bad Monkey, because they just think I will enjoy it personally.
I do. I think you would too.
Yeah. Well, you were one of those people for sure when I say toss towards me. So now that I think the only show I'm watching every week now is Shrinking, because Only Murders ended, Slow Horses ended, Teacup obviously ended, so I think
Got the Penguin.
I haven't even started. So I know I just there's something inside of me, dude. It's the same thing with, and I know they're not the same level of entertainment or whatever, but in that same nerdy genre, I can't start Agatha either. Like, I watched like 15 minutes of it and I was like, I'll get to it. And I couldn't do it. So I'm losing a little bit of my nerd card, but like I'm still watching like everything else. But it's so hard for me to just get into these series where it's like, okay, I'm sure it's good, but can we just get to the next fucking Batman movie, please? Can we get to the next thing of the thing that I'm actually interested in? So I'm a little mixed in terms of like my brain won't get there.
It needs to get there. Like, The Penguin is fucking great. It is probably the best HBO show they've had on in quite a while that I can think of. Like, it bridges that gap between the Batman movies for me. In fact, I think Matt Reeves said this leads into the second Batman movie. So,
which I also hate on principle. I shouldn't have homework in between your fucking movies. Just make your movie.
But when homework's like this, give me more. I'll take the extra credit. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Colin Farrell is murdering this role. Yeah. Like, he is murdering this role, dude. Yeah. Season finale's next week.
All right.
8 episodes, folks. I'm telling you.
All right. I will try. Yeah, obviously, we have a bunch of homework in store for ourselves. I have, I know we also both watched Time Cut. We don't need to talk about Time Cut.
No, we don't. We'll save you time by not talking about Time Cut.
It was a thing that happened. So that was all that really needs to be said. But I am back on the horse this week for my Netflix review stuff. I'll be covering Pedro Paramo. Rodrigo Prieto, who is an excellent cinematographer, did like Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, like so many good movies. The guy is a legend behind the lens. This is his directorial debut. It's very, they use the term magical realism a lot. So it's kind of like ghost story with a message and non-linear structure and all these other things. So it was a lot. So you'll have to see my review on that when it comes out. That one comes out on Netflix on Wednesday. And then gear up, because man, there's it's award stuff. It's Christmas movies. It's everything for the rest of November, let alone into December, because fucking Red One is already getting beat up and it hasn't even come out yet. Jesus Christ. I started seeing, did you see there's been some critical reviews? I guess they had critic screenings and it's not positive. So I'm probably skipping that one.
I will be there.
Of course you will. That's a movie if it's on, which God, they would hate it, but if it's on, PVOD on and it's the week of Christmas, that might happen. But I can't. I just can't. That trailer looks so terrible. And again, what job I have, and I hate saying this term, but that looks like a streaming movie. And yet it probably costs $120 million just in Chris Evans and The Rock's, God, who else is in that? Isn't Lucy Liu? Yeah, and fucking J.K. Simmons. Jesus. Such a packed thing for, God, so hard. But yeah, man. So yeah, Heretic's going to be on the docket for me this week. I'm trying to think, I feel like there's something else coming out. I know that Cillian Murphy movie, I think, might be going wide this week as well. Yeah, Small Things Like These. I really like the trailer for that one. But yeah, other than that, it's that best Christmas pageant ever and some other stuff that I will probably be avoiding. So, but there are certain things that I think are going wide if you haven't checked. I think Blitz might be coming around to certain areas this weekend. So that's another possible Best Picture entry going wide, that with Saoirse Ronan. And A Real Pain, which is the movie I tried to see this Friday, but they said, oh yeah, we have that in a week or two. My bad. So I'm trying to watch that with Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. So there's a few of those. If you can find them, if they come around, definitely check your local listings. But yeah, on the big, wide, blockbustery type movie, it's Heretic this week.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, great job by you as always. Even when you're, stretching your critical muscles, getting in the award season stuff,
I try sometimes.
I know.
Buddy.
You nailed it, buddy. Great job as always. At Recent Act Pod on the socials. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, visit a neighbor, give them some soup. Do nice things. All right. It's the holiday season. We are now officially in it. Unfortunately, I've seen Mariah Carey too many times. It was just fucking Halloween, people. Get over it. But, all right, man. Good job. See you guys next week for more Recent Exit.